you all for joining us. We'll get started here in just a few minutes.
Will anyone from the FBI be talking at all?
FBI will be here to address questions if needed.
And who would that be?
Alex, A-L-E-X, Doran, D-O-R-A-N.
Thank you.
Check on it. Thank you.
Everybody's getting the little step.
Welcome to the Radio Basics video. On speaking.
Yeah. Okay. Keep your line. Put your line. I'm just gonna go on. Over there. I'm gonna put my other gun on. Yeah, so we're done.
Good afternoon, and thank everybody for being here. We appreciate your attention to this and the time. I want to start off by saying just a couple things. One is I want to again say how proud we are, and I am, of our police, fire, and EMS. Our public safety professionals did a tremendous job, a job where they were moving quickly and bravely to make sure that lives were saved. There were lots of acts of heroism on Sunday morning. I also want to say a special thank you to the victim services of the Austin Police Department for the role that they're playing. They are doing their typical outstanding job. I thank our federal partners on behalf of the City of Austin, all of them. I want to reiterate our appreciation of their professional work. And of course, this investigation is still ongoing, but we deeply appreciate their being involved. I know that the people of Austin, Texas continue to hold the victims of this horrible tragedy in their thoughts and prayers. And then that leads me to also wanting to say a special thanks to the healthcare workers that have played such an important and prominent role in addressing the needs of Austinites after this tragedy. I'll have a few more things to say, but I want to bring up our chief of police, who, again, I deeply appreciate the work that she has done and the way she has handled this matter. And so, Chief Davis.
Thank you, Mayor. The last 4 hours have been some of the most challenging in my career. This has been difficult for our community, devastating to the impacted families, and challenging to our APD family. I want to thank our federal partners, Special Agent in Charge, and the evidence response team with the FBI. APD could not do this alone. We are still in the early hours of this investigation. This is a complicated and large crime scene. Our priority is finding answers and the motives behind this crime. I want to thank everyone that has supported our communities and this response. Families will need this in the days ahead. I also want to thank victim services that have come in addition to APD's victim services. That includes FBI, the Travis County District Attorney, and multiple calls of people wanting to help. I cannot imagine the grief, pain, and loss these families are feeling today, and my heart is with them. Savitha, Sean, and Ryder Harrington. To the impacted families that are still waiting for answers, we are here for you. A family resource center is being stood up. As we know, numerous people have been affected by this, and we are daily, hourly, getting calls of people that have been victimized by this. The department will be releasing information soon on what that looks like. When I arrived on this scene, again, it was complex and very large. The work being done by the Austin Fire Department, the Travis County Emergency Medical Service, and APD was quite impressive. Once the initial scene was secured, we reached out to our federal partners to assist in this resource-intensive scene and to address concerns of potential terrorism. We are working in tandem with the FBI, conducting numerous interviews and gathering evidence. If you can imagine, we have over 150 witnesses to this event that we are working with the FBI. And we are also investigating an officer-involved shooting. As I have committed in the past, in any officer-involved shooting, we will be releasing info as quickly as possible. Later this week, potentially Thursday, we'll be releasing body-worn camera of this event, as well as information on the suspect, including criminal history. Again, we are making, and I want you to know that we are making tremendous, significant progress in this case, but it will take time. In closing, I want to take a minute, as the mayor, echo the mayor, and talk about just the fantastic work that the Austin Police Department with the Travis County Emergency Medical Services did here. Multiple lives were saved. You know, in Texas, we are fortunate to have the Advanced Law Enforcement Rapid Response Training Center, and that's the Alert Center through Texas State University. And that training, there's no doubt that in that coordinated response with EMS saved lives this night. Mayor, I'll turn it back to you.
I also want to point out that we're joined today by our city manager, T.C. Broadnax, and council member who represents the downtown area, Zoe Kadri. Before we take your questions, I want to say that we recognize that this is a very traumatic moment in our city. But when I talk about being proud of APD and fire and EMS, I want to also say how proud I am in how the people that are this city have reacted with such great compassion. We are all mourning together and grieving as a group, but we're seeing tremendous compassion and love coming out of the people of Austin. And so I urge everyone at this moment of trauma to reach out to each other and take care of each other and take care of our home. Be with each other. While this is a dark moment, our people are creating a lot of light in Austin, Texas. And what we do for each other matters. So now we're happy to, if there's a few questions, to take a few questions.
I'm going to start over here.
You can start over here and then we'll go here.
Yeah, Has this impacted any plans, security plans for South by Southwest?
It is not. You know, we have a press conference, I believe, next Thursday for our spring festival season. And certainly as we look at Austin and what makes Austin so great are those events. We are a major city police department, and we go in best practices. I feel confident that the resources we have in play, South by Southwest, will continue on, and it will be a safe festival season.
Do we know how the suspect acquired these guns and whether they were acquired legally?
The guns were required legally. I believe in 2017 out of San Antonio they were purchased.
Can you tell us more about the victims? I think you said Savitha, Sean, and Ryder Harrison.
Ryder Harrington.
Harrison. Okay. Can you tell us more? Are they UT students? I think Ryder is a Texas Tech student.
I don't know as far as what school they went to. That's certainly something that we can look into. But they were young. I believe Ryder was maybe 22 and Savitha 24 or 20 respectively.
Are you able to share any details about the warrants that were executed yesterday in Del Valle and in Pflugerville?
So anytime that you're doing an investigation like this, it's going to lead to search warrants. And so those warrants were based off information of where this person lived, addresses where he congregated, and evidence was taken from that.
There's a video circulating on social media of an autonomous vehicle blocking emergency services near the scene on Sunday. Can you guys talk about the situation, what you encountered, and how you as you were accessing the scene and transporting victims?
Yeah, I think that's something, I don't know if, Rob, if you wanted to address it?
So, Rob Lukritz, Chief of Austin Travis County EMS. EMS, as well as our fellow public safety partners, work very closely with the autonomous vehicle vendors that operate here in the city of Austin. We had more than 20 assets, resources that responded to this event. As was said at an earlier press conference, we were on scene within 57 seconds. And so in the grand scheme of the impact on the overall incident, we don't believe it had any impact on patient outcomes. I will say that we're already in touch with Waymo and the autonomous vehicles to give them our concerns and work with them in order to try to address this moving forward.
If you guys could raise your hands, please. We'll just go here, then Jamal.
And for the chief and for Agent Durant, can you explain what more you've learned about the possible motive? And I think it was reported that the suspect had a shirt underneath the sweatshirt that showed an Iranian flag. Is there a direct connection to the war in Iran with this shooting here?
So I think for our purposes, as we're, looking at the totality of this, and certainly as a police chief, and we're coming in and we're getting this information, and we see those indicators, we see, the second shirt with the Iran, the picture of the Shah on that T-shirt as well. We're thinking about events and what's occurring in the country as well. And so, in addition to the fact that this was a huge, complex scene, we're calling in those federal partners to take a look at that as well. And so again, the motives, all of those things, that's what this investigation is about right now.
Jamal.
I don't mind.
Oh, sure, go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you. So I'll add on that, but first I just want to also express our regards to the victims' families, those impacted by this tragic event. It's not just those that were injured or killed, but obviously those that witnessed it are going to be forever impacted. And so just let them know we stand with you, and our thoughts are with you. With regards to the question, yes, we our ultimate goal in everything we do is to determine the motive, right? We're looking for connections that he possibly had, witnesses, as the chief had mentioned. We are pouring through thousands of hours of video. We have massive amounts of both digital and physical evidence, and this is a around-the-clock, 24-hour investigation at this point, and any declarations on what led to that motive would be premature. Right? We want to make sure that we have our facts 100% correct, or as close to, or at least we've tracked down every possible lead that we can, because that's what we owe to the victims, right? That's what you guys want answers for, but more importantly, we owe that to the victims and their families to be right. So we don't want to speculate or make any guesses at this stage of the investigation as to what that motive ultimately was.
Go Jamal.
So maybe to piggyback off of that, are you all looking into anyone else that may be connected with the suspect at this time that you know of, or is there anything else about the suspect you can share? Chief?
Again, we will have some criminal history, some background, that type of thing on Thursday when we address the officer-involved shooting. But as far as anyone else, that's all part of what that investigation is currently.
Given some of his interactions with your agency previously, some of the social media posts attributed to him, had your agency or any agency identified him as a potential concern or a threat before this?
We have not at the Austin Police Department, no.
No, he was not previously on our radar.
Agent Duran, I had a question for you. Yesterday, you mentioned that there was this potential nexus to terrorism that was being investigated. Can you tell us what that means in regular words, and also what those, what we've learned about that?
So any act of targeted violence, which is what this was, we're going to pursue all investigative lines, right? And that is certainly one of them, along with multiple other avenues of where this could go, right? It's always very difficult to determine what's in an individual's mind that leads them to commit this type of violence. And so we will continue to, like I said, pour through the evidence, talk to witnesses, talk to friends, talk to associates that knew this person, obviously tracking movement leading up to and on the night of the event, and also going back as far back as we can trace them. That's what the FBI does, and we're doing that in lockstep with our partners, and we will continue to do that until we get that answer to determine what that ultimate motivation was.
So we'll take 2 or 3 more questions. We're going to start in the back here, and then we'll go to Angela and end with Dante.
Thank you. For either the chief or Special Agent Duran, how closely are you working with other major cities like the NYPD, the LAPD? We know New York put out a statement saying that they saw what happened in Austin and they're taking it seriously and it has put them on high alert. Are you talking to other cities? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I think, being part of the Major City Chiefs Association, those are, in contact with all of those chiefs and what's going on. And everybody better be on heightened alert. I mean, this is, what happens across the country, we all need to be aware of, and certainly as major cities, you look at best practices and you look at the way you keep people safe. That's absolutely important, and there's probably not a police chief across this country that's not talking to someone.
Angela and Dante, you'll have the final question.
So yesterday, 3 patients were in critical condition. Has there been any status updates on the hospitalized patients?
I believe 1 patient will be taken off life support sometime today, and then 2 other patients are still critical.
Can you clarify the victims' names and age, please?
The victims that were killed,
Yes.
Savitha, Sean, I believe she's 24.
Could you spell that out, please?
Savitha, SHAN, and Ryder, RYDER, Harrington, HARRINGTON. I believe he's 22.
Thank you.
Dante, final question.
I'm curious if you think that Austin's recent safer state 3-minute shift and things like that have contributed to faster police response.
Absolutely. When you look at again, I talked about the Alert Center and our partnership with Texas State and what that does, and I made a note to myself because it is, we have CAST, which is our Counter Assault Strike Team, CAST, and that includes EMS, it includes AFD, and APD, and they sit in this very room every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night to address potential threat concerns from our entertainment areas. And so that is something that we have to be prepared for when you have large events, large-scale events, and we do this in our other large-scale events as well. When you're talking South by, you're talking about other things where there are large crowds. We are there and prepared. So absolutely.
Thanks so much, guys.
If I might add one thing to that, in 2024, and Chief Luckritz and I talked about this yesterday, I guess it was, in 2024, the City of Austin also created the Downtown Area Command with EMS so that we would be better ready. That's what the recommendations coming from the professionals in EMS said they wanted and needed, that sort of thing, so we would be better ready. God forbid there was a situation like this, and we think that also played a significant role in addition to what the chief was saying. Thank you all.
Everyone, just real quick, in closing, we will be sharing the information, the correct spelling of the names of the deceased, their ages as well, and then some additional resource information that we would like for you to help push out.
And isn't there, could you, in that extra resources, clarify what taken off life support means?
We can look into that for you.
Both of the
Say that again. We'll find out that information. Thank you all for being with us.
Okay.